another episode of The Long Short. Today we have
Menace Mitchs, aka Mitchell Greenwood, aka the right royal pain in the arse.
Yeah, not wrong.
Shriveled slightly to the left.
Mitch has been a part of the crew for a long time now. He does all of our design work for all the shirts and whatever. And this is his girls' bike. I mean, Sportster. What is it, Mitch? Give us a look. What is it?
This is the girl spec dyno, or the dyno from Wish, or the dyno from eBay. You know, the dyno with the Made in China label.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
It's actually your friend's bike, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah, fair.
Sporty Mob shares every photo she posts with it. None of mine. Yeah, this is what started its life as a 2010 883 and is now probably roughly the equivalent.
2010 883.
Well, 2010 883 with like the equivalent of like stage 3, 4, something like that.
We don't work in stages. We just work in
money spent,
working money spent.
money thrown out.
Hey, this, when you brought it, was pretty stock, yeah?
It's actually come such a significant way since when I got it. I legit got it like maybe 4 days before I probably hung out with you guys for the first time on that trip at Held South last year.
Oh, I met you before that when we went to that thing with that old mate.
Yeah, that's right. But that was like the proper time I like partied with you guys.
Yeah. If I can find the photo, I'll put it in here. But I don't know where it's gone.
It started its life actually not that bad of a setup. It had a nice narrow, about 12-inch rise set of apes. Did have forward controls on it, but because obviously it being a Sportster, that shorter wheelbase, it wasn't too difficult for my long legs to get around. Just the long rides were fucking torture because, you know, just puts all that pressure on your lower back and it just doesn't sit right. Picked it up for an absolute steal at just short of 10 grand, about 9.5. And
this was like peak COVID too.
Peak COVID, so I'd only just started my current job. So legit, it would be just, I would own this thing probably about a year now. And it was more like a modern chopper type build with the narrow apes, the forwards and the tank rays. And it had this really, it wasn't a janky seat, but it may as well have just been a fucking bit of cardboard with foam on it. And it actually did look really cool because it like followed the contours of the bike really well, and it did actually present really well, but it was torture to sit on. Like,
it was pretty horrible.
Like, I, like you, don't like just going to the cafe and back on this thing.
Yeah.
I try to go as far and as fast as I can on it. So that seat was the first thing that went.
Yeah.
Managed to get really lucky and move the controls back for free. Found this dude on Marketplace that was selling mids. Hit him up and was like, oh, what are you looking to do? Are you looking to do forwards and what are they off? And he's just like, oh, it's off a 2010 Roadster and I'm looking to move to forwards. I was just like, bruh, I'm your boy.
Yeah.
I just went there and he actually turned out to be a customer that I qualified and converted to a sell. Like, I think it was Tim at Whackers managed to sell him the same Roadster and I qualified and we rocked up and it was like, what have you been doing? Yeah. And he was more than happy to like just spend the day with me and like move him back, and then I helped him with his and stuff. It was sick. Yeah. Managed to get the mids on, and then straight away after that was the seat. And from there, just the more and more I hung out with you guys and just listening to the goods and the bads that you had, I sort of learnt what I wanted to do to this thing over time. And I knew I wanted moto style pegs, so I went with something that had a little bit more of a motocross aesthetic, because I went from my DRZ to this. Yeah. So the Thrash and militants were like perfect. And then obviously fairing, T-bar setup, stuff like that. Yeah, so the engine, everyone like would look at this and just be like, yeah, whatever, Sportster, but I must say, I have ridden this bike a few times, and when it lives in my house for that bit, and this thing fucks. Yeah.
Like, it's not a slouch. Like,
dude, yeah.
it's kind of like, you're like, whatever. And you open it up and you're like, actually, I need to hold on.
Yeah, it's got some space to it. And I got so lucky with that purchase for picking it up just under 10. The guy I bought it off was this really nice guy in South Brisbane, and he originally bought it as like a putt around for his missus, who didn't want like a super powerful bike, but she wanted a Harley. And then when she injured herself and got out of riding, he then picked it up, but he was just like, oh, it hasn't got enough legs for me, because he was a big dude.
Yeah.
So he put the 1250 Hammer performance kit onto it and knocked it up to that 1250cc, which is then where I picked it back up.
Yeah.
And
you've had it worked on since then, yeah?
Yeah, so it's not that I was unhappy with what it was doing. It was actually doing really well. But
so yeah, it was fast when you had it.
Yeah, it was more than fast when I had it.
You were like, I have a pillion now.
So what is my best move as far as like maintaining the current power that it had with load? So I spoke to Garage 37, and the legend Andrew there was actually, he questioned me about my current setup, and he actually said that the setup would be fine with a cam in it set up for like that more mid-range power.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what's the best options? And he advised the Andrew M4s, put them in, and then it was like my pillion wasn't there. Yeah. Like at all. But he sort of did. I actually made a complete fuck up when paying him. Paid him like $900 more, and he's just like, did the easiest sales pitch ever. He's just like, I'll take $200 off, I'll take a little bit off the top of a pipe, and yeah, you've already paid me, let's just order a pipe for you. I'm just like, yeah, right. Second he put the pipe on, it went from sounding like a really subtle sort of thump, 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 to borderline a fucking mini hot rod.
Yeah, man, it sounds so good.
It absolutely thunders now, and it's not like an obnoxious noise, it's sort of like just like a series of cranky pops. Yeah. And it leaped in power. Like the cams brought it well and truly up and made it run more ergonomically, but it wasn't until we put a proper like performance pipe on it that it really started to move. Yeah, well
you could have got away with the ones because they were hollowed out, standard muff slip-ons that were on there. Yeah, you could have got away with it if you really wanted to, but
I really could have.
Kind of redundant though, spending all that money on cams, tune. Yeah. Not to.
Well, Andrew hooked me up a little bit with like a bit of price down off the top on getting it retuned with the pipe fitted. Yeah. So that's where it sort of saved me a little. So anyone who's looking at doing a performance upgrade and they're in the South Brisbane area, go to Garage 37. Yeah. He will look after you, and there's no bullshit. You can tell he's not trying to sell you on shit. Yeah. He just wants to help you achieve what you're trying to achieve. And we really pushed this thing. It like went into the shop with just the Hammer Performance 1250 kit at just short of 60 horsepower at about the 58 mark, and it's now leaped to 80 horsepower with 85 foot-pounds of torque at the rear wheel, and so it's an absolute monster now.
Yeah. You just need to learn how to ride it.
Yeah, I gotta learn how to ride it. Essentially.
When you look at this thing, this is what you see. First thing is this fairing wish version of a Memphis Shades. It's not. It's actually good. What brand is it? Why did you choose that over the generic either Harley quarter fairing or like a Memphis Shades or any other one on the market that looks better than that?
One, it's not that ugly, and two, there's a lot of reasons as to why I chose this fairing. One, I saw the quarter fairings out there and they would have been my favorite. I would have been like them Memphis Shades in order of preference, because the quarter fairing obviously has that hell yeah brother flash out to like the Sons of Anarchy steez, which I actually don't mind. Yeah. And the Memphis Shade, obviously the iconic Road Warrior fairing is a beautiful piece of work. However,
it's very overplayed. I didn't want to say that I own one.
Yes and no. They're fucking amazing bits of hardware. You can change at a pin drop. So I wanted something that could also change at a pin drop where I can.
Yeah.
Hence why I went with this fairing, which is actually their tall fairing by Burley brand. And I actually really love it. It sits perfectly in line with the top of my Speedo after we finally got it moved up there, which is another pain in the bitch story. And it deflects all the wind, and it's actually, the brackets that come with it are designed to be changed and moved and replaced to suit any make and model Harley Davidson, with the exception of like anything with like big fuck off light in the front, so like your Fat Boys and your road Kings. So I was just like, that's perfect. So say a Hail Mary happens and I end up losing this bike, that's one less thing I have to then replace for future things. And it's got that classic black aesthetic, so it was just like, it was a no-brainer at my point, and it was like a good near $400 cheaper than the Memphis Shades equivalent. So to me, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, fair. That riser bar combo, thrash and mids.
Thrash and mid bends, and I think they're like an OEM riser. I'm actually not too sure on the brand of the riser. I actually picked them up from a friend of mine who lived not too far away for cheap as chips. So it just, I had the money sitting there, and I was just like, I wanted to do a T-bar setup from the original like squared off apes that it had, which did actually fit me right pretty well, but they just didn't give me the right confidence in the turns and stuff, because we usually do those longer rides.
And they had cobwebs welded into
Oh, they were hell yeah brother spec, 100%. I mean, again, they didn't look bad, but they were hell yeah brother spec.
I'm pretty sure that they are a Builtwell item, because Builtwell make the bottom section of the riser to suit the factory clamp.
Oh, true. Right now it sits perfect. There's not much I would change. I even managed to get, like, when we picked it up, me and Lockie, because he was actually the guy who found it for me, he had these handguards sitting there ready to go, and I did change the decal on them, but not the wording that they had.
So I'm pretty sure these come off Tuddy's bike originally.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're a hand-me-down of a hand-me-down?
Yeah.
Three generations of hand-me-down?
Three generations of bent metal.
There you go, Tut, mate, thanks. But they're sick. I'm like, I get questions on them all the time. So, and I was just like, oh, I picked them up from a mate's garage. I really don't know how they got to where they are.
I couldn't tell you what brand they are or anything.
No idea.
So. Another thing you might notice is this has more bags than a Gold Coast V-Rod owner. And that would be because we don't fuck around. We like to go for full days.
Full days.
And weekends.
Days and days and days. And I just, being tall as fuck, I'm on a really small bike. I just don't want to carry a backpack. It fucking hurts my back, man. I can't do it.
Oh, and it's just like,
it will ruin your day. On a long ride, it will ruin your day. If you're going to work and it's only like a 30-minute ride to work, it's fine. But if you're going on like a 2, 3, 4 hour ride, stuff that.
Yeah, if you can tour on a bike with a backpack, you're a better man than I'll ever be.
Oh, 100%.
I'm not a fan of backpacks at all.
Yeah, hey, if you can do it, hey, it's cheaper.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like, I think I've spent like, that's like 400 and then 200 there, a good $600 on luggage, but honestly, it's money well wasted in my opinion. Like, when me and Taylor go on the big long rides, we have like one bag dedicated to her things, one to mine, emergency supplies in the bag behind the Speedo, and then your everyday essentials, sunnies, like touch-up makeup things, wallet, keys, phone, everything. Yeah, my blush is out. But yeah, and it's kind of the way I like it. I don't mind that. Plus,
so you've had this for what, about a year, 100%. Give or take?
I already put a good near 15,000 Ks on it.
It's not bad for a year's riding.
Well, like I said, I don't like going to a cafe and back.
Yeah, and we work full time, obviously, so restricted in that advantage that we can't just disappear for weeks on end and see all the sights.
It's sort of like a daily for me. Like, you have a work car, but
this is your work car.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Which is another good reason for that many bags.
What's your best memory on this thing?
Honestly, it would have been that first Held South that I went to, because I literally only owned the bike like 4 days prior. So I was just like, fuck it, send it, I'll do a big ass ride on it, no worries. I didn't buy it for it to be sitting in a garage collecting dust. And there was many reasons why I liked Sportsters before I even got into
like men.
Yeah, lots of dicks.
What's next on your modification list?
There's a few things I want to play with, but mostly are aesthetics. I want to add a few more hints of gold throughout. For those who can't see, I run pretty much gold everything, gold decals and where I want it on the forks and the hand guards, gold pegs, gold shifter tip, even down to gold saddleman security key. I kind of want those gold highlights. The next will maybe be a proper tail tidy, so I can move these bags back and use them to their full potential. Potentially a chain drive, but I don't know if I want to commit to that yet, because I obviously, now that I've gotten to the engine to a point where I'm more than stoked to it, kind of don't want to mess up with the drivetrain if it's already working well.
Because you were talking chain drive.
I was talking it for a time, but I don't know if I want to commit to it yet. I want to do a bit more homework on it before I go and drop the cash. But between now and then, my main thing is just sort of making it present really well, even though it does now, with it being the classic black with just a few little highlighting points. Yeah. Maybe just some more modern tech, so like some LED indicators and tail tidy, just sort of modernize it a lot more. A
little aesthetic.
Yeah, all purely, you know, swinging your dick around shit.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's not there to be tucked in your pants forever.
Yeah, you wouldn't have it if you weren't meant to get it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like an elephant's trunk in the wind, mate.
Well, speak for yourself.
No, baby dick.
Baby.
Me and Dan, baby dicks.
Yeah, brothers separated at birth. Alright, that's pretty much about it. Just a long short of the Sportster. If anyone wants to get in contact with you to learn more about your 1250 kit or join your OnlyFans or anything other, freelance artwork, because your doodle's pretty good and your drawings, how do they get hold of you?
Purely through Instagram. I do have a website, but most people feel more confident these days just talking to me through Instagram, and it's just menace.mitch. If you have any questions, if you're a fellow sporty owner and you want to work out a few of the kinks in your setup, send me a message. I love chewing an ear off. It's all good. Same with anyone who wants help with artwork stuff. I'm available for freelance paintings and design work, logos, social media assets, minor video editing. I try to be a pretty much one-stop creative shop for anyone who needs help with anything.
So support your local Menace.
Support your local pain in the ass, yeah.
Alright, thanks for watching. That wraps up the long short of Mitch's Sportster, Skirtster, sister's bike, whatever you want to call it. These cop a lot of shit, but they're cool as fuck. They're light, they're fun to ride. Like Mitch, fun to ride. Anywho, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. Like and subscribe, fuckers. If you're watching this, you're probably already on our gram, but if you're not, follow us on the gram. We put rides up every now and then. Starting a bit of a community of people that just like doing what we do, which is riding bikes and having a good time. Tell a friend for a 10% add-on to your next order. Yeah, cop a shirt if you haven't. Do it, they're really good.